Tell me who the white scarves are and how you got involved.
I felt like I had to do it because I had been to Afghanistan numerous times. I had hosted Afghan women who were on the front lines of education and journalism and government and politics and business and, the State Department, or even when I was in the Senate. And I continued to stay in touch with many of them after I left being Secretary of State. And when the evacuation of Afghans began, the priorities, rightly, for the United States government were people who had actually worked for our government, our embassy, our military, contractors with government contracts. The women that I had gotten to know were women who didn't work for the United States government, but were doing everything they could to help transform their society. They were starting schools, they were teaching at the university, they were serving as mayors, they were in the government of Afghanistan, or they were starting businesses, or they were broadcasting on TV. And so I was given a copy of a list that the Taliban had put together of women that they would go after. And it was just terrifying to me that what would happen to the people who were left after not just the United States, but every other country withdrew their troops. So we began to try to pull together information, contacts, who had passports, what was the best text or email or WhatsApp or Signal, way to get in touch with people. And when Kabul fell, we began reaching out, and we worked out with the Defense Department that, the women that we were helping to evacuate would take a white scarf and put it on their purse or put it around their neck or put it on their coat so that they could be identified. And that's, how we were able to tell our military at the gates to the airport that these were women that we were helping to get through. So, there were things that were happening all the time, and to try to keep the flow going. And we coordinated with a lot of other governments. We had to get other governments who would take people out on their planes. We had to get other governments who would let these women land in safety in their country until they could be processed.
Which was because you had that great experience as Secretary of State.
That's exactly right. I was able to call leaders of countries, talk to prime ministers, talk to national security advisors, talk to foreign ministers, defense ministers, and ask for help. And they knew me, I knew them, and it was a way of trying to expedite the evacuations.